Okay, so today I'm gonna share with you guys our favorite apple crisp recipe. It's a fall favorite around our house. We eat it quite a bit. And we just recently went to an orchard and grabbed a bunch of their -- 2 apples, which actually they're not super #2. They are a little bit now because they've been out of town at the Women's Homestead Conference, Homemakers Conference. So I shoved them in the fridge because I could not get them all preserved before I left. So they've been in the fridge and they've kept nicely. But for dinner tonight, we're gonna go ahead and make an apple crisp. So I thought I'd share it with you. Okay, so you're gonna need a few things. Obviously your apples. We've got our apples here in a colander. They're all nice and rinsed off. And then this is not a must, but this apple core peeler is, honestly, it just will spoil you. You can normally get them pretty cheap off Marketplace or something. If you don't have one of these, it's not a big deal. All you need to do is core your apples, peel them, and then slice them thinly. Some people like to do them chunky. We like ours super thin. That's just a personal preference. Also, if you slice them thinly, you are gonna need more just because, they just bake down a lot quicker with them being so thin. So I like this one. You can get these that some of them clamp to the side of the table, but mine actually suctions. So I like to use my large cutting board here and I'll just suction it. And then that way, as I'm doing it, it does not move. So we're just going to get started. The kids love to help with this job. This is a perfect way to incorporate them into a kitchen task. Get me a knife, please. Yeah.
Sour. That's sour.
Okay, so now I have my you're gonna do about 8 to 10 apples for 9 by 13. I have these all sliced. Now I'm just going to pour them into my 9 by 13 baking dish. Okay, now we're going to go to the kitchen and add our spices and our crumble topping. Okay, now comes the good part. We're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of either melted butter or coconut oil, whichever one you prefer. And then we're gonna add a pinch of nutmeg. And then we're gonna add about 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'll be honest, guys, a lot of times stuff like this, I do not measure. And we love cinnamon, so it's not gonna hurt to have a little bit extra. And let's just stir that up to make sure your apples are evenly coated with all the oil or butter and spices. Apparently I'm just gonna throw some extra all over the countertop. Okay, now let's mix up our crumble topping. So first off, we need about a cup of flour. Now we need about a cup of oats. About 2/3 cup of sugar. Now I prefer to do half of that as regular sugar, which we use an organic cane, organic evaporated cane juice, but I'm out of brown sugar right now. So instead of doing half brown sugar and half of that regular sugar, I'm doing all of it, the regular sugar, and I've done that many times and it turns out just fine. Now we need about another teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to mix that up. Now I have about 3/4 cup of cold butter cubed up, and we're gonna add that in. Now we want to cut this in until it's small crumbles. I will say that I used to use a pastry cutter, and then I've used a potato masher, but my favorite tool of all time is this. It's like meat scissors for the kitchen, but I have started using it recently to do my butter in crumbles or pie crust or anything, any dough or pastry like that you need to cut in your butter. And I find this works way better, and it's way easier on your hands than having you push down the whole time on something such as a pastry cutter. Okay, so as you can see here, we have our beautiful crumble. It's all small and the butter is all crumbled up. Now we're just gonna pour that over that apple mixture that we made earlier. We're just gonna evenly disperse it.
Mama, it's right here and I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, and try to protect it from the little hands that are going to invade you for it. Okay, so looks like this. Now we're gonna throw it in the oven. My oven has been preheated to 350, and we will bake it there for about 35 to 40 minutes. In it goes. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes, so let's check in on our crisp. Look at that delicious bubbling crisp. You can literally hear it sizzling. Thanks for joining us today. It's time for me to go finish the rest of dinner. And I know we are super excited to eat this tonight. Our favorite way to eat it is to put it in our bowl and then pour a little bit of fresh raw cream over it. Hope you enjoyed.